What's going on, everybody? This is Bronco Joylo, and it is an extremely hot Wild Eye Wednesday. And today I am reviewing the film EBOLA REX, directed by Dustin Ferguson, also known as Dark Infinity. I don't know why he calls himself that, but whatever. Starring Mel Novak as General Davis, Ken May as Dick Steele, and Sean C. Phillips as Protester Number 1, also kind of himself. I firmly believe that he's kind of playing himself in this role. An Ebola-infested T-Rex escapes from a science lab. Yes, they've created a T-Rex. They obviously didn't learn from Jurassic Park, or Jurassic Dead, or any of the other Jurassic movies. And then they give this one fucking Ebola. It escapes from a science lab and runs amok. And it's up to a neighborhood of very different people to stop it. Basically, where the military fails, your next door neighbor Bob will succeed. Or so you hope. Now, EBOLA REX, guys, Dustin Ferguson movie. I hear the name Dustin Ferguson and I automatically kind of hightail it the other way. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie of his I liked, but I have to say I did enjoy this one. Now, it's not all good. There are some rough spots. But basically, in my opinion, any part that has the dino, I enjoyed. There is a spin-off / sequel in development that they kind of set up, well, they very much set up in this one, called EBOLA REX versus the Murder Hornets. Now, I do have more pros than cons, so I'm going to start with the cons. Now, in this movie, we have two roommates, two very different people. One is a lazy stoner, the other is a hardworking guy. And the lazy stoner, I think, is kind of in love with the hardworking guy, but I'm not too sure on that. I know he says it a lot. I don't know if it's a bro love or if he's like in love, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter, but it's just kind of a weird dynamic in the movie because you don't really know what's going on with them. Now, there is some huge character changes within these two, and they do have an almost interesting arc, but they spend so much time on those two and not enough time on this T-Rex, which is where the camera time should have went. My next and last con, guys, and this is a small spoiler here, there is no resolution in this movie. None at all. They firmly made this movie with the intention of there being a sequel, and they did not put any resolution on this movie whatsoever. It is my opinion that even though you can set up for a sequel, you should always resolve your film in one way or another. Even if you do leave it open for a sequel, you should have at least some resolution, so that way if you don't get that sequel, the movie feels finished. This movie does not feel finished. It's like they literally just cut it right in the middle and said, okay, that's it, that's the end. There is no closure in this movie at all.
Luke, we're ready for takeoff.
Good luck, Lando. When we find Jabba the Hutt and that bounty hunter, we'll contact you.
I'll meet you at the rendezvous point on Tatooine.
Now, jumping into pros, we have a character in this movie who's kind of like Elvira. And she presents this movie, and her name is Malvolia, and she presents it like Elvira would in her movies back in the day. Or maybe like Joe Bob Briggs, that kind of thing. And it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I really did dig that. And, you know, it's like she's presenting this as a movie of the week kind of deal. And I enjoyed that. That was cool. The dinosaur sequence and the dinosaur itself looks like it came right out of a PS2 game. I'm not even kidding. The graphics, they'd be good for the PS2 era. It looks like a PS2 dinosaur. Whenever the T-Rex kills somebody, if he doesn't completely eat them, it kind of looks like something out of Mortal Kombat from the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I do really actually like that. That is a pro for me. I love the way it looks. I think it's absolutely hysterical. And it was done really well for what they did. I don't know if they intentionally did it this way or if they just didn't have the money to get good effects, but I liked it that way. I really did. Love Sean C. Phillips' death. I fucking love it in this movie. I don't know Sean C. Phillips. I hear some people I know talk about him. I've never really watched his channel. I don't know anything about him. sure he's a very nice guy, but I love watching him die. This movie is filmed in a very awesome dino park, probably somewhere in California. There's life-size dinosaurs everywhere. And some of them you can even go up and climb inside, like the Brontosaurus and the T-Rex and stuff. And it's really cool. And a lot of this movie is set at that park. And I just thought it was a really cool setting for this film. Really well done. And it made for an interesting kill. And I've kind of talked about it a little bit already, but my final pro is that the kills are just downright funny. I loved them. And as I said, the only thing I wish this movie had more was more dino. More dino, more dino, more dino. Do you hear me, Dustin Ferguson? In the sequel, more dino. I actually am looking forward to the sequel to this movie. I really did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. There is some filler, but if you make it through the filler, everything else is worth it. This is Bronco Juggalo saying, Happy Wild Eye Wednesday. I forgot to mention that. Did I mention it's Wild Eye Wednesday? Yes, I did mention it's Wild Eye Wednesday. Check out Wild Eye Releasing, and thank you, Wild Eye, for sending me this copy of Ebola Rex. I asked, you delivered, thank you. This is Bronco Juggalo saying, peace.
Cut off your face. The number word like a mask, but couldn't look so much alike then. Cut off your face. I might just use it to wipe my ass whenever I go to take a dump. Cut off your face. They put the lotion on the skin until they do a venom strike them. Cut off your face. From LSD we give it a second to mic while making a speaker stomp. Pull the skin back, wait the fuck back. Then the mason with the razor, not a